You don't actually have to pay for being there. I went to rest. That was the plan. Simple, clearly held in my body as I drove. I needed quiet company, the kind that doesn't require performance, just presence. My body needed it. Yet, when I arrived to receive support, what I found was something different. Instead of receiving that support, my support was needed. The coveted time for building unfolded sideways from my expectation, not dramatically, just enough to require attention. So much attention, the kind of attention that usually costs me something. A cost that must be paid later. The conversation, the pause, the subtle recognition that she was carrying more than I anticipated. In the past, this is where something in me would have tipped. I could have rallied, stayed longer, much longer than my body could sustain, and left depleted. Or I could pull back entirely, protecting my own rest, but missing the quiet satisfaction of being there for a beloved friend. These were the only things my system believed were options: care or self, presence or protection. This time, though, something different happens. I notice my own state alongside hers. Without urgency, I feel resourced enough to listen to myself while listening to her, too. The support I offered didn't come from effort, but from availability. There was no sense of borrowing energy from tomorrow. When my body began to tire, I noticed it early, without judgment, but rather simply naming it gently. Leaving doesn't feel like abandonment. Staying hadn't required sacrifice. I'm surprised most by the feeling of being refreshed rather than being drained. The steadiness in my chest that I was left with tells me something metabolized rather than endured. I was in community without being erased. I was offered care that didn't cost my own regulation. The exchange felt mutual, even though the needs of the room weren't identical. There was no ledger keeping score. Driving home, I realized how unfamiliar the balance was. This is very often that my life oscillates between overgiving or withdrawing, between showing up too much or disappearing entirely. Today doesn't land in the middle as a compromise. It feels like a new category altogether. The care flows until the body says enough, and enough is respected without drama. I don't know yet if this will become the new norm. Patterns earn their permanence slowly with me, but my body recognizes this one. It leaves a quiet imprint, a sense that nurturing and being nurtured don't have to cancel each other out, that support doesn't require self erasure, that staying intact is not the same as staying distant. This is a pattern I want to keep, to repeat. This is what I want.